We're looking at key races in tomorrow's primary election in Illinois. My co-anchor Mark Kiesling sat down with the two men running for the Republican nomination in the new 117th district.
Julie, the 117th is another district changed with the new legislative maps. And like the 118th district, the winner of the Republican primary will likely be the next state representative, since there is no Democratic candidate at this time.
Patrick Windhorst was the state rep in the former 118th district. Now he finds himself in the new 117th. The Metropolis native took office in 2020 after previously serving as Massac County State's attorney for 14 years. He believes that experience will continue to serve him well in Springfield.
Politics is a persuasion business. First, we start by persuading voters to vote for us, that we have the right vision or the right person to carry that vision. But then after we're elected, we're also persuading our fellow legislators that what we've put forward as legislation is the right legislation and it will be beneficial to our state. So we're always working to try to persuade people that what we see as a vision for our state and our region is the right one.
Windhorst faces a challenge from Ron Ellis of Marion. He served 2 stints on the board of the Regional Office of Education and was also a Williamson County Commissioner for 12 years. He believes he is also highly qualified to be a state rep.
You know, I understand firsthand the problems that comes from Springfield on the mandates, whether it's for our schools, it's for the county, it's for our police departments. We had to deal with each and every one of those mandates. We had to worry with the budget. Williamson County was 12 for 12 with balanced budgets while I was county board member. We established a rainy day fund, had never been done before. Our pensions are well over 95% funded. We're the highest in the state of Illinois with counties, cities, or municipalities. And these are things that I'm very proud of.
Windhorst says bringing change to Southern Illinois starts with change in Springfield.
The issues we're facing in deep Southern Illinois, while we have efforts that can be made on the county level, we need change in Springfield. So I'm hopeful that if we can get that change made, we could turn the direction of the state, see a state that's growing and thriving, and then in particular a region that is growing and thriving, where our young people are moving back to after college rather than moving away from, where we have young families wanting to move to because of quality education, quality of life, rather than looking to move out of. I am hopeful that we can get that done, and that's why I've wanted to stay in the General Assembly to see this work through.
Both men say they can reach across the aisle and work with Democrats in power to get things done for our area. Ellis says he demonstrated that as county commissioner.
As county commissioner and county chairman, I was able to work with Republicans and Democrats across the state of Illinois that helped us to get the projects off the ground that we needed right here. And that's huge. You know, Walker's Bluff was huge with that. I was very instrumental in helping them get their license. Road Ranger truck stop. Walker's Bluff is a $160 million project for our county and thousands of jobs. Road Ranger was a $12 million project, and I had a Democrat help me get IDOT to soften the rules and so we could move the entryway to get that built.
I asked both men their 3 top priorities, if elected, state rep.
First, I just spoke on it. It's bringing business to the area, which brings jobs and opportunities to the area. Those 3 things go together. That's all one. Something else that I would like to take a hard look at, if I had a wish list that would be able to go to Springfield and get done, I would like to revamp DCFS totally. I have firsthand knowledge with family members dealing with being foster parents and having to deal with the DCFS problems. The field workers are great. They're understaffed, they're underfunded, they're overworked, and they're not appreciated, and they're sure as heck not protected. That's our field workers. We're top heavy in DCFS. We got a bunch of fat cats sitting in Springfield and Chicago making way too much money that don't do anything. That's the second thing. The third thing that I would like to see done, if I had my wish list, is I would bring back our coal. Mark, we have more coal under the surface of Illinois than Saudi Arabia has oil. I would set it up to where our coal mines are not going to be shut down, that our electricity power plants, coal-fired, are not going to be shut down, and let's give it a time. If you want to get rid of it, fine. But have your alternative power sources in place before you go to such absurd measures. And we're not doing that.
The first one is we have to deal with ethics reform in our state. I think a lot of the problems we're facing as a state goes back to the fact that for decades we've had ethical problems from the governor on down. We've had governors who've gone to prison. That's no secret. Everyone knows that. In fact, unfortunately, joke about it. So we need to turn the ethical direction of the state into one where we are an example for other states rather than one that's being mocked or ridiculed. So part of that is to make sure legislators cannot act as lobbyists. It may be surprised to know that a legislator can lobby local government on behalf of a private client. That should not occur. That is just ripe for corruption. So dealing with corruption and having ethics reform is priority number one. We have to then also deal with cost of living and the fact that living in Illinois is more expensive than living in other states. And that's why we're losing population. Particularly in our region, we're losing it to Kentucky, Indiana, Missouri, Tennessee. And a lot of it is simply the fact that it's more expensive to live here than it is in those other states, and people view those other states as having better opportunity. So we address that by looking at our tax and regulatory structure to see if we can't reform that to make our region more attractive. And then finally, crime. I'm a former state's attorney. I have been a leader in this field. In fact, I've been the leading voice on the House Republican side on speaking out against some of the anti-police policies we've seen come out of the General Assembly over the last several years. We have got to move away from the anti-police policies into one where we are giving law enforcement the tools they need to promote public safety and addressing crime and the root causes of crime, which sometimes are multifaceted.
You've just heard from the two men running in the Republican primary in the 117th district. You will have your say tomorrow. The Illinois primary election begins tomorrow at 6 a.m. For more information on races, candidates, sample ballots, and polling places, visit our website, WSILTV.com.